You close your eyes, not because a clock tells you to, because the sky does. The sun dips below the horizon. The air cools against your skin. Your eyelids grow heavy, not from exhaustion, but from a rhythm older than language itself. You sleep, deeply, completely, for about 4 hours. Then you wake up, not with a jolt, not from a nightmare, not because something is wrong. You simply open your eyes in the dark. And this quiet window of wakefulness in the middle of the night is the most natural thing your body has ever done. For roughly 300,000 years, your ancestors did not sleep the way you do. They didn't aim for one solid 8-hour block. They didn't lie still in a dark room, alone, counting the hours until an alarm shattered the silence. They slept in 2 distinct rounds, a first sleep and a second sleep. And the hour or 2 of calm wakefulness between them wasn't a problem. It was the point. This isn't speculation. A historian named Roger Ekirch spent 16 years combing through more than 500 historical sources, court records, personal diaries, medical guides, novels, prayer manuals, dating from ancient Greece all the way through the early 19th century. What he found was staggering. References to first sleep and second sleep appeared everywhere. In English, in French, in Italian, in Latin. Across cultures, across centuries, humans describe the same pattern. You went to bed shortly after dark. You slept for about 4 hours. You woke up. You stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours. Then you slept again until dawn. This wasn't unusual. It was so ordinary that no one even bothered to explain it. Writers mentioned first sleep the way you might mention breakfast. It was simply part of the day, or rather, part of the night. So what did your ancestors do during that quiet middle window? Some prayed. Some talked. Some had sex. In fact, 16th century doctors specifically recommended the time between first and second sleep as the ideal moment for conception, because the body was relaxed and the mind was calm. Some simply lay still in the dark, thinking, not anxiously, not restlessly, just thinking. And this is where the science gets remarkable. In 1992, a psychiatrist named Thomas Wehr at the National Institute of Mental Health ran an experiment. He took a group of modern people who had spent their entire lives sleeping in one consolidated block, and placed them in an environment with 14 hours of darkness every night. No screens, no artificial light, just long stretches of natural dark. Within weeks, something extraordinary happened. Every single participant, without being told to, without any coaching, fell into the exact same pattern. 4 hours of sleep, a quiet waking period of 1 to 2 hours. Then 4 more hours of sleep. Biphasic sleep, the 2-sleep pattern, emerged on its own, as if it had been waiting inside them the entire time. But it wasn't just the pattern that stood out. During that middle waking window were measured the participants' hormone levels. He found elevated levels of prolactin, the same hormone released during deep meditation and after orgasm. The participants described the feeling as unlike any wakefulness they had experienced before. Not groggy, not anxious, a kind of soft, floating calm, like being conscious and resting at the same time. Your ancestors lived in this state regularly. It was built into their nights. Now, let's reconstruct what a night actually looked like. The sun sets. Your band, 15, maybe 20 people, gathers near the fire. The temperature drops. Children fall asleep first, nestled between adults. You lie down on the ground, maybe on a bed of leaves or animal hides, close to the warmth of other bodies. The anthropologist Carol Worthman at Emory University studied sleep across dozens of non-industrial cultures and found something modern society has almost completely abandoned: communal sleep. Nobody slept alone. Nobody slept in silence. There were murmurs, crackling fires, the sounds of insects and wind. Sleep was a social act, embedded in the group, not isolated in a sealed room. You drift off. The fire dims. Hours pass. Then you wake. The sky is black. The stars are sharp overhead. Others are awake too. Someone feeds the fire. Someone murmurs a story. A mother nurses an infant. You lie still and stare upward, your mind loose and unhurried. There is no schedule. There is nothing to fix. There is only the dark and the breath and the strange, deep calm of doing absolutely nothing at all. Then you sleep again. And when you open your eyes next, the sky is pale. The birds are already calling. The day begins. This was the human night for hundreds of thousands of years. 2 sleeps. A watchful window in between. Not a flaw, a feature. So what happened? What destroyed it? Artificial light. When gas lamps spread across European cities in the late 17th and 18th centuries, the night changed forever. For the first time, humans could push back the dark. Streets stayed lit. Shops stayed open. Work stretched past sunset. And slowly, almost invisibly, the 2 sleep pattern collapsed. Roger Ekirch traced its disappearance through language itself. By the 1920s, references to first sleep had vanished from English entirely. The phrase lost its meaning because the experience it described no longer existed. In its place came the idea that now dominates your life. 8 hours. 1 block. Continuous. Unbroken. If you wake up at 2 in the morning and can't fall back asleep for an hour, you call insomnia. You call it disorder. You Google it. You worry. But here is the twist your body already knows. Waking up in the middle of the night might not be a malfunction. It might be a memory, a biological echo of a rhythm your species followed for 300 millennia, a rhythm that artificial light erased in barely 2 centuries. Your body didn't forget. The modern world simply stopped listening. The sleep researcher Jerome Siegel at UCLA studied 3 of the last remaining hunter-gatherer groups on Earth: the Hadza of Tanzania, the San of Namibia, and the Tsimane of Bolivia. He found that their sleep was not governed by clocks or rigid schedules. It was governed by temperature. They fell asleep as the air cooled and woke as it warmed. Their nights were fluid, flexible, shaped by the environment rather than forced into a mold. Sleep, for them, was not a performance with a target number. It was a conversation with the world around them. You've been taught that good sleep means unconsciousness from 11 to 7, that any gap is failure, that wakefulness in the dark is something to fix. But for the vast majority of human existence, that quiet gap was sacred. It was where your ancestors thought their deepest thoughts, told their quietest stories, and lay in a hormonal state of calm that modern science can barely replicate. You close your eyes tonight, not because the sky tells you to, because a clock does. And when you wake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, wondering what is wrong with you, consider the possibility that nothing is, that your body is simply remembering a night it was never supposed to forget.